Yes, after 3 months, I finally beat it. What is going on, dudes and dudettes? Major Pineapple here, and today we have 3 of Super Mario's best adventures in the third dimension, all in one disgustingly flavored cartridge smaller than an Oreo. It's crazy how the first game in this collection came on a cartridge that is like 20 times the size of a normal Switch cartridge. If you couldn't tell, I'm immensely impressed by this. Look, I know it's not Super Mario 64, the only one that I had was GoldenEye 64, and funny story, the day one of my best friends gave me GoldenEye 64 was the same day that my Nintendo 64 crashed. It's really impressive seeing how far we've come in 24 years, and 16 years ago we got Super Mario 64 DS, and the Switch game cards are even smaller than the DS cards. And I know it's not Super Mario 64 DS, but this is the only regular DS game that I have. But that's not what's important right now. Right now what's important is Super Mario 3D All-Stars. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have any nostalgia for these games at all, and the one that I played the most was Super Mario Galaxy 7 years ago, and I didn't even come close to beating it until now. As of now, I've beaten all 3 of these games, and I will be reviewing them as such. Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. Besides the fact that this collection has 3 of the best 3D platformers of all time on one card, it's only available for purchase until the end of March. I think they're going to make it so you have to buy each of these games separately, I hope if anything, but I think they got a bigger plan set in motion. Mario has always been the face of innovation in gaming. He was there for the Nintendo Entertainment System, showing that the power of the arcade machine can be brought into the home. Then the Nintendo 64 showed off what a true 3D gaming experience could be like. Then the DS proved that the handheld consoles were catching up to their big brother home consoles. And now we finally caught up with the Switch. Almost. The 3D All-Stars collection shows how far this character has come. It's such an amazing celebration of this character's legacy. Each game has a small biography and the score accompanying it as well. I heard you could play the music while the Switch is in sleep mode, but I have found that to be false. I wouldn't really want to do this anyway, to be honest. I could find these soundtracks elsewhere if I really want to listen to them that bad. And be honest with me, have you ever trusted anyone who looks like this? But without further ado, here's the Super Mario 3D collection.
It's me, Mario. Hello.
Arguably one of the most important games in history, Super Mario 64 was a launch title back in 1996 for the Nintendo 64 alongside Pilotwings 64. You could tell they got really creative with these titles. This game brought the Mushroom Kingdom to a brand new dimension, showing what a true 3D experience could be like. Its effects are still felt today whether you notice it or not. While the argument can be made that it would have been any other game besides Super Mario 64, I don't think we would have had the same 3D gaming experiences that we do now if it weren't for this absolute gem. Even 24 years later, this game still holds up. The story isn't anything crazy, it's just a basic Mario story. Peach invites Mario over for cake and Bowser kidnaps the princess. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This sends you on a quest to find 70 stars. After that, you get to the final level to face Bowser and save Peach. During the adventure, you do as Mario do, but this game took the gameplay for a loop. One of the biggest switch-ups is that instead of mushrooms determining Mario's health, you have a health ring? It's not really a ring, it's more like a pie. A health pie. You get a health pie, and the only way to recharge it is by collecting more coins. And instead of having one level after the next, the stars replace the normal flagpole we grew accustomed to in the series. The stars allow for more traversal and open exploration throughout the levels. I don't know if this happened with anyone else, but whenever I would try to get 1 star, I'd end up getting another instead. And I love it. It just shows how open-ended this game really is. But the biggest way that the level layout has changed was the introduction of paintings. Each painting takes you to a different world with various kinds of missions, and you find these paintings in Peach's castle, which acts as a central hub for the game. It's crazy because this was my first time truly experiencing this game, and I remembered this kind of mechanic in many other games. This is gonna be a weird one, but The Amazing Spider-Man. Even the hub world itself has stars to be found here. Fun fact, Zelda's castle in Ocarina of Time was actually supposed to be Peach's castle. I bet you already knew that, but it's still fun to talk about. Mario here controls very well, especially considering that it's his first time in the third dimension. And with that, they introduced new power-ups like the Steel Cap and the Wing Cap. The Steel Cap allows you to walk through running water and poisonous gas, and the Wing Cap allows you to fly. While Mario plays great here, especially since it's his first time in 3D, like I keep saying, I think my only complaint is that he feels a little floaty. If you're on something like a narrow beam and you want to turn around, you can't just turn the analog stick back. You gotta backflip or jump backwards, because if you don't, you're gonna fall off and die. And speaking of dying, I died so many times in this game, Jesus Christ. I died so many times it was getting beyond annoying. But once I finally got the star that I needed, it was so rewarding and I was genuinely relieved at times. I think of all the games here, this one takes the most skill in platforming. You can pull off some sick tricks in this game.
Some epic gamer moves.
And when you pull off a really cool trick, you can't help but to.
No way, that was so badass. And I'm so embarrassed that I said that out loud.
But I'm being totally serious. Sometimes you can do some insanely cool parkour moves in this game, but you gotta be quick. You gotta hit the buttons just right. While this game is amazing, it's easily the most controversial in the collection. Many are upset that there wasn't anything changed with the graphics and that it wasn't put in widescreen, and I get it. I was hoping that it would have been similar to the Rare Replay collection or the Master Chief collection, where they up-res the visuals to be more fitting with modern graphics. But more or less, I see why they kept the graphics here the same. They want the player to experience this game as if it was originally released back in 1996, so they fixed up some textures in the HUD display, making it a lot more smooth. I'd be lying if I said that I don't care that they didn't fix up the graphics for this game, because Super Mario 64 has proved to be a breathtaking game if remastered correctly. Look at what fans have done to this in the Unreal Engine. Nintendo could have done this easily, but with its flaws, this is still a fantastic game worth everyone's time, and if you get the chance to play it, take full advantage of that chance. You won't regret it. Trust me.
Super Mario Sunshine! Woohoo!
In this cult classic 3D platformer, Super Mario Sunshine took the plumber to a tropical paradise in Isle Delfino.
And gave a big chunk of characters' voice actor performances, which is nice.
This is where Nintendo really started to remaster the games here, making it widescreen, taking the 480 graphics into 720, and it is beautiful on the Switch. They also add little heat rays, and I'm not gonna lie, I really like this. The entire world of Isle Delfino is so colorful, and they also have really good reflections here, and the fact that this is a GameCube game and it looks this amazing is nothing short of impressive. A second ago, I said that this was a cult classic game, and I definitely see why. I had never played Super Mario Sunshine until now, so this was the title that I was most excited for. And after beating it, I definitely have some opinions on it.
And why else would I be here?
I think this game is just good, not amazing like everyone else says it is. Mario and friends are on a trip, but then plot strikes as Shadow Mario frames Mario for making Isle Delfino completely filthy. Citizens are covered in what looks like marble chocolate.
They said it was sweet and sticky. If it's not chocolate, I have no idea what it is.
So you have to clean up this tropical paradise before setting back to your normal vacation. The biggest addition to Sunshine is FLUDD, basically an Iron Man water jetpack that's honestly really fun to control. You also use it to solve puzzles and traverse through the worlds. If you spray water ahead of yourself and you try to slide through, it makes you go a lot farther and a lot faster. It does come at a cost though, as you can't duck.
I know, it's a real make or break deal here.
And it completely rids the game world of Mario power-ups. Instead, you just have different nozzles for FLUDD and Yoshis that have different powers. It's weird thinking about it in hindsight, but it still works really well. Mario controls so loose and lightly here, and I'll be honest, I don't really like it. While it is cool that it feels like he could jump higher than ever, it just doesn't feel right. I do like though how if I'm going in a direction, he doesn't move towards it, he just turns and he moves, making those narrow beams a lot easier to go past.
Oh, thank God.
One thing that was super weird though was when I played this game in handheld, I noticed that the analog sticks on the Joy-Con wouldn't recognize its input. It wasn't a problem in 64 and it didn't happen that much in Galaxy, but I could always count on it during Sunshine.
I do have these analog stick grips that came with my Satisfy gripping case, so it might be getting in the way of the direction, but I've never noticed it in any other game and I've never noticed it this bad.
Each world in this game is huge, almost too huge.
If you saw me play Super Mario Sunshine, I'll have a video to that right here and in the description box below, but that final level took me an hour to complete, and that's twice in this video I've been embarrassed.
But nevertheless, it's still fun to explore. I think the game having a tropical island theme though restricts creativity. They have to stay in that specific lane and can't venture out to snow levels or desert levels. But what they do with the tropical theme, they push far. And instead of paintings, you have these stains on buildings that act as portals, breaking down Mario into Del Taco poppers.
Which I'm really pissed off that they don't sell anymore, but it is seasonal, so it'll come back. I should know, I asked the guy.
And instead of stars, you collect shines, but it's basically the same thing. While the game is fun, sometimes I just found myself just annoyed by it all and dreading to go through the levels. I could not wait to finally beat Sunshine. As much fun as I had playing it, I was just as annoyed. I found myself just bulleting through the game, eager to finally beat it. And once I did beat it, I had such a sense of relief.
I hope I don't piss off the Super Mario Sunshine community.
I don't want you guys thinking that I don't like this game, because I actually do. It might be my least favorite 3D Mario game, but I still enjoyed it nonetheless. I just found the level design somewhat tedious, but the FLUDD mechanics really make Sunshine stand out not only from Mario games, but platformers in general. It's less about platforming and more about puzzle solving. With some really striking visuals and art style accompanying the fun gameplay and controls, you do have a classic in your hands. But while these two games are great, they're not my favorite in this collection. Not by a long shot. The only thing I didn't like about Super Mario Galaxy was how quickly I beat it. It only took me a few days. In comparison, Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine took me weeks to finish. It was so short for me, even when I collected enough Grand Stars to battle Bowser, I still went through as many levels as I could before facing the giant, stupid, edgy looking turtle with some great hair if I do say so myself. Seriously, why does Bowser have the most immaculate hair in here and in Odyssey? And why does he have hair at all? Moving on! Super Mario Galaxy begins with a Starlight Festival and Peach wants you to join her, but disaster strikes, as every Mario adventure does, but what makes this game stand out from every other Mario game is that it takes place in outer space. This feels like the true Super Mario 64 successor that Nintendo had in mind. The gravity mechanic also makes the platforming, as it should. It makes level design truly fantastic, as they can make any kind of level they want with any kind of gravity they want. Even though it's in space, they don't let that halter what they want. There's snow, lava, garden, and forest levels here. To shake things up, they also have comets and worlds that allow for different challenges. Race against Shadow Mario, beat the whole level under a time limit, or beat the boss with only one health bar. They also have some of the most interesting power-ups here. The bee mushroom, the boo mushroom, the spring mushroom, the ice mushroom, and the most infamous, the red star. Each power-up is pretty easy to guess. The bee mushroom turns you into a bee, the boo mushroom turns you into a boo, the spring mushroom turns you into a spring, and the ice mushroom is basically a reverse fire mushroom. But what about the red star? The red star allows you to fly for a little bit and it's so much fun. You only really get it in one section that's very closed off, but it's still amazing. Now Nintendo, just bring over Wii Sports Resort, and Pilotwings Resort from the Wii onto the collection to the Switch like this, and nobody gets hurt. But one thing that Super Mario truly excels in is in the music. Nintendo had a live orchestra record the score for this game, and there are no words to describe how beautiful it truly is. If you have some earbuds or some headphones, you have to play this game like that. This is also the only game in the collection that I feel truly utilizes the Switch's unique features. To be fair, 64 and Sunshine weren't developed with these kind of controls in mind, so if they did have it, it'd probably alter the game in a really bad way. But Galaxy takes full advantage of the gyro and the Joy-Cons and the touchscreen controls. In docked, you use the Joy-Con similar to how you would use the Wiimote and Nunchuck, using the cursor to collect star bits. It's a bit annoying at first to have to press the right bumper to always center the cursor, but I ended up getting used to it. And you have to shake the Joy-Con to make Mario do a spin attack. I think this felt a lot better on the Wiimotes. The Joy-Cons are a bit too small and I feel like the Wiimotes just have more heft to it. And sometimes you have to balance the Joy-Cons in order to make Mario balance on a sphere similar to Super Monkey Ball. Please don't get me started on this, Jesus. Playing in handheld, the touchscreen controls replaced most of the gyro controls, collecting star bits and grabbing on blue stars, which feels somewhat clunky and awkward at first as your finger's always going to be in front of the screen, but I got used to it easily enough. You also have to balance using the same controls as the Joy-Cons. I don't like shaking my whole Switch console though to spin. I feel like I'm just gonna break it, but that's just me. But whether you're playing handheld or docked, know that this is the most gorgeous game in the collection. All the colors pop out of the screen and it runs at a smooth 60 frames per second, and it's the only game in this collection to do so. All of this equates to this game being the most skillful for multitasking. You have to platform across different planets and surfaces while also keeping in mind what kinds of gravity each surface has and collecting star bits as well. You also have the least amount of health in this game. While the others had 6 to 10 bars of health, this you only have 3, but you can also get a 6 health mushroom. Buttery smooth visuals, ear-melting music, and immersive controls make Super Mario Galaxy the best in this collection easily. While I like all of these games, I definitely love Super Mario Galaxy the most. Super Mario 3D All-Stars is an outstanding collection and an amazing celebration of this character, the journeys he's been on, and how far gaming has gone. But what about you? What's your favorite 3D Mario game? Mine is definitely Super Mario 3D World, and I cannot wait for Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. I am so excited for that. Catch me there day 1 at Best Buy. Anyway, dudes and dudettes, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to click that like and subscribe button, and be on the lookout for some new content as well. I just want to give all of you some more content to watch. Anyway, dudes and dudettes, Major Pineapple out.